Hello, folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and as always, we love hearing from y'all. Comments, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Ride along shotgun as always, my sound engineer and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now that Labor Day is in the rear view mirror, meaning adios wearing white after Labor Day, for us gals anyhow. And Tigger, what is the cowboy hat tradition?
Oh, after Labor Day?
Yes.
That you're supposed to put the straw hat away after Labor Day and you move into felt hat season. But I don't think that is going to work because where we're at, it was knocking on 100 degrees, and in other places it's awfully hot. So the straw for us is going to stay out just a little longer. That's
not going to jinx us, though, is it?
Well, I used to be kind of fussy about this.
You are superstitious.
I am extremely superstitious, but it's just hot.
Okay.
It's just hot right
now.
now.
So you're waving the flag and you're saying it's okay to wear straw because Tigger's hot.
Exactly. I gave permission. I mean, we're busting the superstition deal wide open.
What's the other etiquette thing? Because you have literally yelled at me for this one when I
Hat on the bed.
Thank you.
We go to a hotel room and you do not put your hat on the bed. I'm not talking upside down and just rest it there. I'm talking it doesn't even go near the bed.
Tigger and I travel quite a bit. So as you can imagine, and you know how it is traveling with your significant other, your spouse, there's certain things that rub each other. I am constantly getting my butt, chewed, because if I set his cowboy hat or my own cowboy hat upside down, of course, but lay it on the bed just for a second.
It's really, really bad luck if you do.
Honey, I don't think it's made a difference.
It's very, very bad luck if you put your hat on the bed. Everybody knows that. It's not quirky. It's like you don't mess with the hat gods. But because it's hot, I mean, I get it. It's hot. There's still a lot of people that are wearing their straws after Labor Day because, I mean, it's just hot. But I would imagine it's going to get cold here pretty quick. So I'm just going to relish the last few weeks that I can wear my straw.
You just keep wearing your straw over there. All right. All right. By the way, speaking of kind of some nostalgia, sticking in the theme of somebody that used to wear a hat you knew quite often on TV, how about Burt Reynolds? Smokey and the Bandit fans. Get this.
I want to quote the movie, but I can't.
I know.
Because we'll get taken off the air.
Exactly. But I know a lot of us love and know Smokey and the Bandit, all right? And if you're looking for one of those movies just to watch, it's a great one.
Love Smokey and the Bandit.
All right, so Burt Reynolds' personal 1978 Pontiac Trans Am is now up for sale. The iconic car, like the one featured, of course, in the film Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, so it's not the exact one. It's like it.
It's like it.
It's not the exact one.
Yes,
okay.
But they're saying the starting bid is going to be $60,000, and the car is expected to sell for around $125,000.
I would think it would be more than that.
I would too.
For something, if it's in really great condition.
And if
those
Burt
people,
Reynolds happened
yes.
to have signed it, autographed it, I don't know. I would think, too, it would go for a bit more. A little more change. All right. Also, now that we are into September, I found this little bit here I thought was kind of funny and interesting. For those of you that are wondering about trying to score with the ladies.
Right here.
A new survey is out.
Let me get my
notebook out. A new survey is out that 55% of women consider stubble to be the most attractive facial hair style.
Stubble versus completely clean shaved or just facial hair?
No, versus completely...
Just anything.
Yes. 55% of men feel sharper after a fresh shave or a beard trim. That would be Tigger. Tigger always says he feels grungy and dirty if he doesn't shave. And I'm like, leave that stubble on.
Okay, but I can't grow. I mean, when you say leave the stubble, that's like a week and a half, and I have like 4 hairs on my whole face. I can't grow a mustache. I can't grow sideburns. I have no hair whatsoever.
You have no chest hair.
I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. And
right
you always
now,
want me to do stubble and a goatee, and I can't.
All the guys are shaking their heads. Are going, we're getting a bad image of Tigger. This is way more than we wanted to visualize on the guy.
Saying,
But I I thought this was very interesting. See, I'm not alone. 55% of us ladies like you guys with a little bit of stubble, all right?
So you do personally prefer a little more stubble?
Yeah.
On moi. I'm not going to say on a guy. I'm just going to say on me.
No, on you. I'm not going to get myself in the doghouse. That's where you live.
But I don't have any stubble. But no taking. No taking.
I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Sticking with the trends, there is a new Gatorade wine trend. Listen to this one. It's called Gator Wine. A mix of Gatorade and cheap red wine is gaining popularity. People are trying it and surprisingly enjoying the combo. It's a latest TikTok trend. Reviewers are pleasantly surprised by the taste and suggest it has a fun party drink. Now, to me, it sounds like the solution to warding off a wine hangover.
That's a lot of sugar if you're throwing Gatorade and wine together.
But, you know, I always tell you,
if we know, of sugar in
here's our
beer.
little secret. If we know we're going out and Tigger knows Beck might have a few too many, he always makes sure there's a bottle of Gatorade, Powerade, something like that in the fridge, right? So I could see where, I wonder if they do offset each other. We might have to try this one, Tigger.
What's that, mimosas? What's in that one again? I ask this all the time. What is that? Orange juice and champagne. Orange juice and champagne. That's how you also win the ladies over in the morning. Nobody says you have to go out on a date. FYI, hint, hint. At night, you can go for brunch. All I need to do is grow a beard and have mimosas, and I'm set for life. I got this, dear. I got this down. I'm taking notes. Easy keep.
Oh, yes, I am an easy keep. All right, in other news, let's get back into the outdoors. Some 8th grade students are being hailed as heroes. Listen to this. We head to Newfane, New York, where 2 8th graders are being hailed as heroes for saving a woman's life at a marina. Liam Headley and Hunter Marcello were at the Newfane Marina in New York when they heard a woman scream for help. The young men spotted a woman in an overturned kayak and quickly sprang into action. They hopped in a boat, paddled out to the woman. Liam and Hunter grabbed her hand and arm, taking them 3 tries to finally pull her into their boat, after which the woman laid there thanking them and saying that she would have died if it wasn't for their bravery.
Right on. I've tipped over in a kayak. It was scary. Even though it was like 3 feet of water, it was still scary.
I rescued you.
Yes, you did. But I'm glad that these boys were there.
I am too. And you know what? I bring this up because this is a great discussion to have with our youngsters as they're getting older. Making sure, have they had swimming lessons? Yes or no? Do they understand how water works? And then also the importance of trying to help another out.
And have life jackets available.
Yes.
Let's just point out the obvious. Have those available and wearing them too, by the way.
So a quick tip of the hat to Liam Headley and Hunter Marcello. Way to go, guys. Let's take a short break, crew. When we come back, what does it take to survive a bear attack? You're going to want to hear this. You're listening to The Ben Show. This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit cowboychannelplus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun, as always, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. I have a little bit more news for you all, and this involves Colorado's wolf relocation that's going on, and it's sparking livestock industry debates. Here we go. Colorado plans to relocate the Copper Creek wolf pack, responsible for most livestock depredations in the state. It has sparked controversy among ranchers. The pack, introduced from Oregon, has been linked to the deaths of cattle and sheep in Grand County, Colorado. Despite repeated requests from ranchers for lethal removal, Colorado Parks and Wildlife opted for relocation, stating that this decision does not set a precedent for future wolf livestock conflicts. The relocation decision aims to balance the state's wolf restoration goals with the needs of affected ranchers. This action follows the denial of permits for lethal control despite rising livestock losses. The Cattlemen's Association criticized the CPW for prioritizing wolves over ranchers' rights, highlighting the significant impact of the wolves on local livestock. The agency's strategy faces scrutiny as it walks a fine line between wolf conservation and livestock protection, with the future location of the relocated wolves still uncertain. This is a story we're going to be following closely. As many of you know, there's been a lot of controversy about bringing these wolves back into Colorado. There were a lot of measures that weren't looked at carefully enough regarding farmers and ranchers and their livestock. Next, hunter survives bear attack and gunshot wound. We head to Alaska for this one. Tyler Johnson, a 32-year-old hunter from Sterling, Alaska, survived a brutal brown bear attack and a self-inflicted gunshot wound while hunting on Kenai Peninsula. Johnson was hunting black bears with his father, Chris, a former U.S. Federal Wildlife Service officer, when they accidentally startled a sleeping brown bear in the dense grass back in August. The bear charged Tyler, who struggled to draw his sidearm before being knocked down. Despite sustaining severe injuries from the bear's claws and a gunshot wound to his own leg, Tyler managed to fire 7 rounds into the brown bear, eventually incapacitating the animal. His father, Chris, helped finish off the bear and immediately began treating Tyler's injuries, which included that accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound to Tyler's leg. Tyler Johnson always carries a trauma kit hunting that has QuikClot and a slingshot band, which the men used on the gunshot wound. The 2 men worked quickly, applying a tourniquet and calling for help using a Garmin InReach. It took search and rescue over an hour to get to the hunters. Chris made his son tell him hunting stories in order to help keep him awake and to mind off the pain. Tyler was airlifted to Alaska Medical Center, treated, and released the same evening. This incident marks the 3rd bear attack in the U.S. this year. Now, thankfully, both of these men are experienced hunters. They're familiar with the backcountry. And most of all, thank goodness they had a trauma kit on them. They knew how to use it along with that satellite communication system. And again, we've talked about being prepared going into the backcountry. And as we get ready for fall hunting, we're excited. Maybe you're heading out on those hikes. This is just a really great reminder. It doesn't matter where you are or who you are. It could happen to you.
You know, you're always razzing me about carrying a first aid kit, but who always ends up using it?
Me.
I do, but for somebody else. One thing to keep in mind, though, in that story you said a tourniquet, obviously the dad had experience using it. If you don't know how to use a tourniquet properly, don't attempt to use one.
Good advice.
You know, I carry a cat combat tourniquet, but I know how to use them properly. And here's the other thing. This is a big thing. Even for if you get bit by something like a bee or anything and you don't know somebody's allergic, in your little first aid kit, have a Sharpie marker, a permanent marker that you can circle where somebody was maybe bit or where the injury was and what time.
Yes, that's huge. You got to write down what time.
And write it right on their skin, like right beside it. Or if you are putting that tourniquet on, write down the
what time you put it on.
Exactly right. Exactly.
I agree completely with Tigger on this. And this just brought to light to me a couple of housekeeping. We'll call it housekeeping, right? We all should know when we head out to the backcountry or you're actually going anywhere off the regular path, I guess you might say, that park rangers would be following along, make sure you're letting somebody know your plans. How often do we head out? I'm guilty of doing this, not leaving a note saying, hey, I decided to go hunting, or I'm going to go bring in, round up some heifers in another pasture.
But you're really good about this, though. You do let me know where you're at.
I do now, but I used to be bad. You had to get on me, remember?
Yeah.
You had to kind of chew my butt again.
Yes. I was guilty of that, too, because I used to do so much hiking by myself, which was the dumbest thing to do, of not even letting a friend know where I was at. Because remember the story we were just talking about this, and I got my directions turned around and I ran out of water and I still had several miles that I needed to get back. It wasn't life and death or anything like that, but it was still kind of dumb of not letting somebody know where I was at, because I was deep inside of the bush, if you will, and there was absolutely no cell phone service.
Well, and that's the thing, is it could even be one of those ATV, UTV excursions. We've lost friends, sadly, that have flipped or rolled in some of those vehicles. And had they just known, had somebody known that person was out checking cows in a certain pasture, or they were going to a tree blind or something like that, it's really important to let people know what your plans are and when they should expect you back, just in case something bad does happen.
It just happened this weekend. We were out at my place and we were putting in a cow that had snuck out from the barbed wire fence. And I was walking across kind of this washout where it was gummy but dried a little bit, and the cows had kind of stepped these little potholes everywhere. And you were following me, and I said, be careful where you're walking. You could twist an ankle. Bam, just like that. I slipped, and I didn't hurt my ankle or anything like that.
But you went right down.
But I went right down, and I thought for sure, oh no, I rolled an ankle and I'm shot, and that wasn't the situation. But look at just like that. You and I were having a great day, and we're putting this cow in, we're checking the pheasants, and then bam, something like that happens.
So you never know when it's going to happen, but I do want to bring up the whole trauma kit essentials again, because this is a great time to, if nothing else, go through either your first aid kits, what you're keeping in your vehicles, as well as what's going in your packs. And some suggestions, for example, is this individual, he had a tourniquet, elastic bandage. He knew how to use all of that. Again, make sure you know how to use these items, but it is important to have that gauze, those trauma dressings, especially if you're using firearms, and to remember a shears, a scissors.
Medical scissors,
those take a certain type of scissors. QuikClot or blood stopper. I carry that when I go big game hunting after elk or something like that. Because
I carry it every day.
There you go.
In my backpack, wherever we go. I carry it everywhere we go.
Other things to make sure you have for going into winter. Some of these climates, the weather changes quickly. You want to keep an emergency blanket, headlamp, fire starter, battery pack. Some of this sounds ridiculous, but I've literally been in that situation where miles from camp, trying to pack out elk, and you're going, do we just set up camp here for the night? Because we're not going to make it back. Wondering, do we have those essentials with us to do so if you have to?
And it's not necessarily that it's this big outdoor excursion. It's those things. I carry them with me in my backpack every single time I leave the house, even if I'm going to get the mail or something like that, because I got a little 99-cent little rain jacket in there or something
Tigger
like that.
has a go bag is what he calls it.
But come on, it's those items that you never know, and I'm always grabbing something all the time. And of course, the essentials, you got to have a set of pinochle cards in there.
Of course. And he makes sure, don't worry, he has the Benadryl, Tylenol, ibuprofen.
All that stuff. Yep.
But we're just telling you to think ahead, be prepared, and make sure you have a great time this fall. All right, we're going to take a short break. We got more of the Ben Show right after this.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota, then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska, and for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist.
In the field, on the farm, or in the saddle, we're right there with you in your pocket, on your phone, and everywhere you go. RFD TV Now. Current ag reports, geo-targeted weather, live streaming 24/7, and our full collection of shows you love at the tip of your finger. At less than $10 a month, it's the cheapest tool on the farm. Download the app today and start watching RFD TV now.
Welcome back to The Ben Show, your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and Ride Along Shotgun. My co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, last week was our 200th episode, and in honor of it, we teamed up with Ranch It Up, the Ranch It Up radio show, to give away some gear. We asked the question to you all, what is the one critter thing out there that is living that shouldn't be in my book, that I am deathly afraid of?
That is demonic in nature. Yeah, everybody knows this one, Beck. Everybody
All right, well,
does.
Bill from Pierre, South Dakota had the right answer, or at least he was the quickest on getting it back to us. And yes, it is snakes. So, Bill, watch your mailbox. You've got some gear on its way to you.
I have a question about snakes, though.
What?
Because I've been to a lot of snake hunts. Do you think that if you knew, like, that's where they are, they're right there, that you would start to, I don't want to say be curious, but you would get the gumption to just go up beside, and I'm not saying handle or anything, but okay, get a little closer to the pit where the snakes are, and if you can see them, and that, okay, never mind. Continue.
Dude, I was going to say, am I given a hoe? Am I given an axe? Am I given a 410 pistol?
The look.
A snake slayer? Is that what you're going to give me?
Never mind, dear. Never mind.
All right. I got a little bit more news on the other foot. All right, we're going to change gears. Let's put it that way. I'm all rattled now because you were talking about snakes.
Oh, rattled. I see what you did there. No pun intended.
All right. For those of you that are international travel adventure seekers, listen to this. Starting October 1st, New Zealand is going to increase its international visitor conservation and tourism levy from $22 to $62, making it more expensive to explore the country's lakes, mountains, and wineries. This fee originally was introduced in 2019, helps cover the environmental and infrastructure costs associated with international tourism, which brought in over $11 billion in the last year alone. We're talking March 2023 to March 2024. That's a big business for New Zealand. However, the tourism industry, Aotearoa is what it's called, they criticize the hike, warning it could hurt New Zealand's global competitiveness as tourists may choose more affordable destinations like Canada or the United Kingdom. In addition to this levy, tourist visa fees will also rise on October 1st of this year from $131 to $211, potentially leading to longer processing times. Despite concerns, similar tourist taxes are common, by the way, in around 60 different destinations globally, such as Venice and Bhutan. And studies have shown that these fees are not deterring tourists. So in case you've never heard about having to get a travel visa to go and visit some of these locations, I'm bringing this up because now we're falling into that season where you're going to be planning your trips for next year, next summer, especially if you're going international and you want to be aware of everything that's associated with traveling. So for those countries that may be a little bit further off the beaten trail, like New Zealand, be double checking what their new regulations are and make sure you have all the costs covered. And I think this is a great topic to also bring up because I'm staring at Tigger, who is one of those individuals that needs to renew his passport. I have been
I got that
you.
on the list that I got to do that.
So, they talked about going to Canada as a more of an inexpensive excursion, but right now, Tigger, you can't even go up there with me.
Do you need your passport to go into Canada?
Last time I checked, you do.
Okay.
Yes.
So there you
See,
go.
I keep telling you.
How long does it take to get that back?
Well, that's the thing. The processing times, unless you want to pay for expedited, which equals to more dollars, it takes a while.
Is yours updated?
Of course it is.
Well,
Why would I ever let that expire?
Right, exactly. How could I ever have
At this point in our other businesses, I am our international sales rep because I'm the only one in the crew that's got a passport.
You planned this, Beck. You planned this.
All right, folks, let's call this show wrapped for this week. Remember to keep sending us in your questions or if you have something spot-worthy to share. And now that it is open season in a lot of areas, we want to hear about your area's field reports. That number you can call or text anytime, again, is 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. And if you missed part of this episode or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on our website, thebendshow.com. Again, that's thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to the Ben Show YouTube channel. And remember, we are starting to book into 2025. So if you're looking to change things up at your next event, conference, or awards banquet, think about having us, Tigger and Beck, entertain your crowd. Thank you to our partners, Ditali Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, ToxicCalls.com, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember, keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram @The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.